have a confession to make. And given that it is Yom Kippur, what better day to share it than today, here with you. Several years ago, I was part of a leadership program at Kohn. In one of the sessions of that program, each of the participants was asked to list the 3 purposes of a synagogue we found most meaningful. I drafted my list quickly and confidently. Education, commemoration of life cycle events, and fostering friendship and community. We each shared our responses, and as I listened to every other person describe the importance of services, prayer, and worship, I was unsettled, mortified actually. Worship hadn't crossed my mind. Yet there we were, sitting in a synagogue just steps away from this sanctuary. Is it not our way of worship that defines us as a synagogue community? Further unsettling was the fact that I had always considered ritual and prayer to be a great part of my Jewish identity. How then could worship or services or prayer not enter my mind? It's not that these are without importance to me. In fact, as I mentioned in my remarks last year, Kohn beautiful, meaningful services factored heavily into my decision to join the congregation. So why weren't they on my list? Those of you who know me will not be surprised that this question led to some serious introspection. What I came to realize is at that moment in my life, in that sliver of time when I was a parent of 3 very young children, still relatively new to Westchester with no family nearby, the 3 purposes I listed were exactly what I needed most from my synagogue. And I was grateful that my synagogue was there to fulfill those much-needed purposes. I also came to realize that my list would not necessarily remain the same. To the contrary, it most likely would change over time. And with these realizations came the true understanding that a synagogue must find a way to meet the extensive and diverse needs of its entire community, not an easy feat. So why do I bring this up today? Well, now that I'm a co-president, not a day goes by that I fail to think about Kohl's responsibility of meeting the needs of our entire community. I'm proud of our work. In the past year, Scott's and my first in our positions, we have witnessed firsthand as our tireless clergy taught, inspired, celebrated with, and provided comfort and support to our community. Our schools educated hundreds of our children and along the way instilled confidence, connections to Judaism, and provided love and joy. Our communications were streamlined and upgraded, and we launched a beautifully revamped website. I have seen the unique beauty of our B'nai Mitzvah services, and especially that magical moment when the bar or bat mitzvah child steps onto this bima. The child in that moment becomes a leader in the blink of an eye. I had the privilege of being in this sanctuary as our confirmation class led a most beautiful Shavuot service with confidence and camaraderie, musicality and maturity, humor and humility. Our programming was unparalleled, from our thought-provoking Cineplex speakers to our most enjoyable summer concerts, to our engaging work towards social justice. Our community learned, laughed, and made an impact on each other and on our world together. But along with the successes, I see there is more work to be done. One of the things that has captured my attention this year has been the concept of membership. As only a synagogue president would do, I have asked myself over and over again, what exactly does membership mean here? Is our commitment to our congregation best described as membership? Or is it something else, something more? You see, membership is transactional. A person provides whatever membership requires, perhaps dues, perhaps information, perhaps some level of service or residency requirement, and he or she becomes a member. I see our relationship with Kol Ami as deeper than that. And as I thought about what concept better captured the relationship we have with Kol Ami, the word that stuck in my mind was community. While membership is transactional, community is living and breathing. It is defined by continuous interaction. We have responsibilities to our communities, and our communities have responsibilities for us. We look out for each other, we share in each other's successes and joy, and we comfort each other in times of loss and sorrow. We listen, we respond, we educate, we learn, we celebrate, we support, we pray. And yes, there are financial responsibilities as well. I know the word budget brings at best a yawn and at worst a feeling of disdain, but allow me a few minutes to offer you my perspective. For the past several years, I've had the privilege of working with our clergy, our staff, and incredibly talented and dedicated congregants to create Kol Ami's annual budget. The budget is more than a listing of amounts, so much more than number crunching. We not only bring our calculators, but also our minds and our hearts. It's our opportunity to enact our vision for our future and set our priorities for the coming year. Our budgeting work touches upon every aspect of synagogue life. We know our dues do not cover our expenses. It is a purposeful decision. While dues are necessary, we do not want to burden our congregants with an even higher financial requirement for joining or remaining in our community. And so, to ensure the continuation, indeed survival, of our offerings and programming, we rely on voluntary contributions to our annual fund. Yes, we rely on generosity, your generosity. Generosity that supports our Yad B'Yad program, the only program in Westchester for Jewish teenagers with developmental challenges, focusing on critical life skills, social skills, and Jewish education, a true blessing to those whose lives it touches. Generosity that ensures our sanctuary is filled with beautiful music every week and each holiday, just as it is today. Generosity that allows us to brilliantly stage our Purim spiel, which is one of the most joyful and memorable events of our year. Generosity that provides our youth with a welcoming place to connect with one another, free from the distractions and pressures of their everyday lives. Generosity that enables us to stream our services so that you can be with us, even if you are unable to physically be present here. So, it is with a full, grateful heart that I ask of you to give meaningfully, give proudly. Give. As a community, each of us has a responsibility for one another, and each one of us makes a difference. This year, we are counting on total donations of $195,000. If every congregant or family unit contributed, we'd meet our need handily. Unfortunately, last year we saw a participation rate of only about 30%. Let me say that again. Last year, we saw a participation rate of 30%. That's less than a third, fewer than 1 in 3. Every contribution matters, so please give. Give meaningfully. Dues amounts are set, annual fund amounts are not. We ask that you give in a meaningful, generous way. We all have different circumstances, and I do not presume to know what is possible for or meaningful to you. What I do know is that every gift, be it $18 or $18,000, will be met with deep and sincere appreciation. Give proudly. Know that your generosity enables Kol Ami to serve the needs of our entire community and to make an impact on all of our lives. In a community, we give and we take, and it's often the giving that provides us with the greatest satisfaction and joy. I hope you will find the joy in giving to Kol Ami, especially knowing that our Kol Ami community is always at the ready to give of itself to you, whatever may be the top 3 on your list. Today, worshiping with all of you has been a great privilege for me and for Scott, and we look forward to continuing our observance this afternoon and evening. Please join us at 3 o'clock in the chapel in the woods for a presentation with Healing Across the Divides, a not-for-profit that is working to improve the health of marginalized Israelis and Palestinians. Their method of working to improve health represents a pathway to peace building. We are grateful to be joined in conversation with David Chess, a member of its board, Kolami members John and Margie Falk, and Moran Zamir, a former soldier in Israel's IDF, now a member of Combatants for Peace. Our family service will be in the main sanctuary at 3:15, and we hope all of our families with young children will join us. The memorial and Nila service is at 5 o'clock. We hope you will mark the end of Yom Kippur with us at this most beautiful and meaningful service. Thank you for the overflowing food donations brought to us today. Our children are working with Feeding Westchester right now this morning to sort the donations, helping to ensure they make it to those in need. And though we have the good fortune of remaining safe and dry during the recent rain, many of our neighbors in the south are suffering from the effects of Hurricane Florence. Kolami, in partnership with Afia, will be collecting much-needed supplies. We will get information out to the congregation as soon as we have it. It has been an honor to share the Bima with so many of our congregants and youth. Your participation enriches our service deeply. Thank you. For those parents with children at youth services, please be sure to meet them at the gym at the conclusion of our service today. On behalf of Scott, the Executive Committee, and the entire Board of Trustees, I thank you for all you do to support our congregation, our incredible community, and offer our gratitude in advance for your contributions to our annual fund. Gemar Chatima Tova. May you and all those close to you be inscribed in the Book of Life. Shana Tova.